Mrs. Hurley, your phone, you got something?
All right, the title is like Draco's Laws. Spring and summer days are spent, they quite quickly went. Now autumn leaves begin to fall, winter approaches, I feel its call. Everything that is must also cease. On life we hold a short-term lease. Draconian are nature's rigid laws. Death stalks us all with open jaws. Life.
Did you laugh when you wrote that?
You had a bad day.
A hungry day.
However, there's redemption.
Yeah.
Life's too brief and sweet to fret. No time to waste hosting regret. It's folly to wallow in dismay. Better to exalt each gifted day.
Carpe diem.
Don't turn around.
You brought us Chad.
Jaws did not win.
Do you want to read your footnote?
Oh, what about the footnote?
Do you want to read it?
No, I don't. I just put the footnote in to annoy Patricia.
It worked.
For those who don't remember who Draco was. Draco was
I
actually a
like-
real person. Everybody knows draconian, you know, they know the adjective, but they don't know it comes from a real person named
That's
Draco. He was a pretty nasty guy. He had the death penalty for almost everything.
I appreciate the information that you.
Late books up
Not
their head.
everybody knows that stuff.
Are you well aware of the
Two-way
fact
back.
that in the Harry Potter series, Draco is
Yes, my grandchildren tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very contemporary character.
Yeah, very.
You hear what she said in the Harry Potter series, Draco or Draco is
Oh, yes,
a
yes.
prominent
Well,
figure.
and Draco or Draco is the word for dragon in a whole bunch of
Well,
languages.
that's what it means, that's
Yeah.
exactly. Dragon comes from dragon.
And I don't know if the dragons were named for this guy or this guy was named for the dragons, but.
So that's the next dragon we meet.
Well, anyway, rhyming couplets.
Yeah.
Please, Tom was not here. No, please, Joe wrote it, not here.
I'm going to see Joe tomorrow.
Aww. You're going down to Texas?
Yeah, I'm going to Texas and spend the first night with them and then go to my sister, but there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that they're going to be a part of.
Oh, good.
That's great.
Wow. You
So-
see your
Please tell
daughter
him we
too?
said hi.
Yeah,
Mary Ann, tell him we all said hi.
I
Yeah,
will. I will.
1, 2, 3.
And we miss
and your daughter too,
Yeah.
please. And her family. The pets.
Which way are we going?
Anyway, you want to go?
This is, okay. This is, you can pass this around. There's 2 pages.
Two
It's
pages.
extravagant. I was having trouble with my printer as usual. There's actually 3 pages, but we'll start with the 2.
Wow.
Should we send half of it the other direction?
Yes, yes.
And Mary Ann, did you
There's
bring
a
up the
page one.
idea you had about bringing Wyndham Kickers in to speak about?
No,
it tonight?
I mean,
Do you want to?
let's wait till the end.
You just did.
Okay, it's a 2-pager. I'm gonna have to borrow one of them back because I gave them all. So if we have one left over.
I think you might take the dibs on that, and we'll make sure you get one.
Then I'll give it back to you.
Would you like another typo? And her 9-year-old sister.
Okay, but I'll.
No, I do not want it.
Is it an
Let's
extra?
not ask
Okay.
for it. Don't give it to me. Okay, Annie and Katie. This is the story of 12-year-old Annie and her 9-year-old sister Katie. Annie is a bookworm. She loves her younger sister, but sometimes hides in search of solitude. Annie has a fertile imagination. Last year, she studied the art of mummification. Her mummy is now buried in the compost pile. Rock climbing is another passion. She scaled one of the glaciers at Glacier Park last summer. Music beckons her. She was awed by a pianist playing at our house and wrote him a card urging him never to stop playing. That was Richard, Syracuse.
I was wondering.
The piano and the harp and induction into elite choir fill many hours. She is especially helpful when her grandparents need help with technology, such as sprucing up ringtones on cell phones and learning FaceTime. She wants to help with maple syruping this summer and fly to Ohio on her own.
Wow.
Her imagination is boundless, whether drawing pictures, creating worlds of husbands with strange names, or writing a play about a lost peacock.
Aw.
Annie is a jewel.
Aw.
Creating worlds of husbands with strange names.
Yes, did she did a whole lot of that. And okay, this is part 2 because we can't leave Katie out.
Right.
Katie is her
Oh,
sister.
I was just gonna say, Katie got, first
Yeah.
script from the
No,
first one.
she didn't.
Katie.
She's got her own.
Here comes the Katie.
Sorry. Oh, this one page?
Yeah,
This one.
this one. That
One
should
got
have
short,
been on page
short,
one. There's no page. It's only one page. Katie and Annie, part 2.
Is that one yours?
Katie is 9. Her dad calls her Katie Did. Her curly blonde hair attracts all who come near. She's a cat lover. Bailey and Elliot, her 2 cats, come when she calls. Last year, a peacock dubbed Petey by Katie suddenly appeared at their house and began to roost on their roof. Sadly, Petey became very mean to Katie, and he had to be taken to an animal sanctuary. Katie is a fashion model. She wears colorful bows in her hair. Her clothes sparkle even when she plays outside. She loves to speak Spanish, which she learned in preschool. She particularly delights in testing her grandparents' Spanish, which is measurably lacking. She is determined when she starts an endeavor. When she was 6, she learned to kayak on our farm pond. In addition, she learned how to fish. In summer, she likes to go creek walking when the water is running. Her latest fantasy is gymnastics. She is rarely upright, instead turning flips, doing back bends over the ottoman, or performing cartwheels out of doors. She adores her sister and is learning to give her some time alone. Katie sparkles.
Oh, these are precious.
Yeah.
And this is Annie and Katie. There's
Aw.
only one of these, but, yeah. So I'm gonna see them.
They take these.
They must,
That's Andy, and Katie.
They haven't seen it yet, but they will, because they're gonna be in Texas.
I see a resemblance to Mary Ann. Mary Ann, I just want to say that it's clear you really observed them well. Those are great details in here. I mean, we get great visualizations of these
Thank you.
girls.
But the 2 last lines of each one go together nicely. Annie is a jewel, and Katie sparkles.
Yeah.
You meant that, I'm sure.
Yes, yes.
I have that. I love that she is rarely upright. That is such a great.
It's true.
Perfect.
I've got one just like that, it's never right side up.
Yeah, we had a short time between planes last weekend, and they needed, and we were able to go over to their house.
Spencer, just one page.
Just
We
one
walked
page.
in, and the
There's some
first thing that
sparkle in
happened
there.
was Katie did a flip in the house.
The joy of seeing you.
Yes. It's great, I love being a grandpa.
Well, but we jumped on the dog.
You meant to spell her name two different ways, or does she spell her name, Katie, two different ways?
Katie, K-A-T-I-E.
Okay.
Oh,
Sometimes it's-
Yes, her father calls her Katie did.
But the PD by Katie.
Now wait, Missy, here. Sorry.
Those are Haley's kids.
Lively eyes. Did Paws make it all the way around?
No, we'll share.
Yes.
Yeah,
We can share.
yeah.
Everybody has Paws when they're done. I'm trying
Oh,
to,
no, here's another.
trying to follow the recommendation that
Did you get
we're
one?
passing around before the
Yeah.
meeting. So Paws. Felix has already done my, for me, but we'll try my flavor. You know, there's a lot of poems about spring, I'm sure. And looking around though and listening of late, there's probably darn near as many poems about October as there are about spring. I mean, it's a transition season, something I had not noticed until this year. October is big in poetry. Pause. The huge old oak trees say, take your time. Pause to let your goals align. Life begins with the fall of an acorn. In that way, the old tree is reborn. A new start from an old lineage, something like the turn of a page. The page is new and clean, but the story goes on, invigorating or mean. I walk under an old tree this fall. The count of fallen acorns is alarmingly small. Only 3 or 4 are lying there. I'm staggered for a moment. Is the future bare? But nature has built in these trees the reason not to spread their acorns wide each season. It gives the tree a gathering break, a pause from which all could benefit should it they take. Maybe development needs happen slowly so all aspects can be considered in detail and wholly. Take time now, maybe every other year, to listen to quiet pulses and to heed what you hear. Straight from the Old Farmer's Almanac. This Old Farmer's Almanac. We have the part 2 on the other side. Part 2 of Felix's.
Wait a minute.
Any comments on Pause before I turn to
Oh, I love it.
Sometimes I hope, I wish they'd wait a couple of more years before they lay another batch.
Yeah.
We went walking last night and we were remarking about this is a year with not very many.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a lot of acorns this year, more than ever.
Well, you have the red oaks probably.
I've got every kind of oak you can think of.
Well, it apparently was a great year for passion fruit, passion vine.
You know the
Yes.
difference between a red oak and a white oak?
One's red and one's
Color.
white.
There's a family of each, actually.
The red oak is like the American, native Indian American. It points its leaves heavenward, and the white oak is like me, grabs toward the ground.
The red oak has pointies on its leaves, whereas the white oak family, including chestnut oak and so on, have just rounded tips without a bristle on the end. Bristle, I guess is the word.
That's Indian.
Hi, Larry, come on in.
There's a
There's a
chair.
spot right.
There's a chair.
It's occupied.
Well, by paper.
Okay.
You go on the other side and then you have more room.
Well, I like, Beth, I was gonna say, I really like the message. I think we live our lives too quickly. And we don't
Yeah.
pause to savor the moments. And we need to be reminded, hey, stop for a minute, stop the world, I want to get off.
Yeah.
So I guess the acorns on the white oaks particularly are formed during one year, but they just persist over winter and don't fall until the following year. That's mostly the white oaks.
The wildlife prefer the white.
Yes, white oak acorns are more tasty, including Homo sapiens prefer white oaks, those that have been reduced to eating acorns. Or some of our forebears did.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So on the other part of it, on the other side hanging
I would like
around,
to, as something to try, your last line, to listen to quiet pauses and to heed what you hear, instead of pulses. Since you titled it Pause.
No, he wants the vibrancy, life.
the pulse.
The pulse.
Pulse.
I'd go with the pulse.
No, it was not a misprint.
No, I know. it
So
wasn't
over here we have a hanging around. That tree will still be there when I and my consciousness are gone. The whole forest, the people next door, the town, the factories, and outside the town, the farms, with trees and tractors, with decade after decade of plowed and planted furrows. They shine on for a while, always succeeded by others, at least until the globe turns. The last is just thrown in because of it's October and there's so many October poems, so you can read it if you will, or. That's
Nice, very nice.
my contribution.
I'd like to think that all of our trees would outlast us, but some of them are not gonna quite make it, and I can't stand to see them gone.
I have scarlet oaks falling right and left in our woods, it's just terrible. Oh, it's a great big one I'm working on now.
You should live where I live.
I should what?
You should live where I live, where there's a drought in California.
Oh, yeah,
Trees are dying right in the.
sure. yeah.
Well,
Oh my gosh, it looks like E.E. Cummings was here.
I tried to write the shortest poem in the world, but I know it's not.
The short poem in English is please, Adam Hadley.
That's
There's a shorter one called
Please,
Me Too.
Yeah, the first one is, yeah.
There you go. I can look at
You
you.
all play bridge, I guess.
You had a lousy hand.
Two, this morn as I was waking up, having tea and checking in, I heard a raucous sound I love. And then I saw that there were two pileated woodpeckers.
Anna and the Nouvelle Cuisine. Well, I'll never eat at that new restaurant by the cinema complex again, Anna complained. They serve these paltry little dabs of things, all drizzled over with some anemic sauce. What the menu called delicately steamed broccoli, I'd say was only partly cooked. I don't know where they have the nerve to charge these prices. Now, if you want, I can point out the anagrams.
Well, we're supposed to hunt them down.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you if you want.
Well, eat is tea.
Pardon?
Eat is tea, isn't it? Those the same letters?
Yeah, but tea isn't in there. It's anemic and cinema,
Okay.
partly and paltry, and never end nerve. And then the second one is Anna in the morning. The lovely call of a warbler sounding from a tree in the backyard was suddenly all but obliterated by a blue jay brawler screaming a volley of raucous thief, thief, thief calls. And Anna's day began.
Sheriff wants, if you want, I'll talk there with you.
Everybody has one to look at?
Yep.
All right. This is still a work in process. Fire from above, God's pure, holy fire. Fire, 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 burning, burning, but never any destroying. For us, this is a fire that inspires, a fire for us to aspire and acquire. Fire unmeasurable, fire unquenchable, fire so accessible, fire very approachable, to all completely available. A spiritual fire, it burns but does not hurt. It will rid one of dross, so all must be alert. This fire molds, creates, and asserts. It does not divert. God's fire never subverts. It'll assist to exert. With God's holy fire, the goal is to purify. Our flesh of all its crud, we must crucify. Crucify spiritually, not physically, to identify. God's fire works inside us to beautify. Holy Spirit, give this fire to all who desire. Please put in our hearts a spiritual fire. Fire, fire, fire. Burning, burning, but never any destroying. For us, this is a fire that inspires. A fire for us to aspire and acquire. Now, I'm still working on it. There's a song, and I know that the first two stanza of this will be the first two of the song. I don't know if this is all going to be the song or not, and I'm in the back of my head, I'm still hearing, and I forget who made the comment about all the rhyming, and I work really hard to make things rhyme, and I'm having fun playing around with it. I have edited this many times. And I do appreciate the comments, the suggestions that were given in the past. So if you want to make any constructive comments, I am very willing to try to add those to what I'm working on.
I think you broke it up, and that was something that
Yeah,
somebody
I like
talked about
that.
the last
Yeah.
time, and I think that's much better to do that, to just make it shorter, because then you kind of, especially with the rhyme, the sing-song of it is great, but then if it goes for too long, then it's...
So does this, breaking it up, does that help with the rhymes? Because like I said, I worked
I
at
think
making it rhyme. And Pat gave me Patricia, I'm sorry.
You're in danger to call me back.
And I don't want to, because I want to be called Patricia too. Patricia has sent me an email with a suggestion about how to make it a song, about using another song that already exists to get that melody into it. But I hear music, and for the first two lines, and then for the fire unmeasurable, fire unquenchable, I hear something, and I'm not sure where that's going to go. And then the second one, Firestorm, that is to an actual ministry that exists. And I'm not sure what more I want to do with that. Firestorm. Oh, you have? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The last two lines of the first stanza and the last stanza, because they're the same.
Right.
I would say for us, this is a fire to inspire, because that makes it rhyme exactly with
Okay.
fire. And
So for us, this is a fire to
to
inspire?
inspire.
Okay. Thank you.
That's more inclusive.
Yeah.
And then we have to aspire down below,
This
the next line,
And acquire.
is
It's
a
right.
fire.
to aspire.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say it again, please.
Does that make sense
For-
to
For us,
aspire?
this is a fire to inspire. So change that to two and take the S off.
I'm not sure where,
God will understand.
definitely.
She may not.
Inspire,
For us, this is a fire to inspire?
right.
Okay.
A fire for us to aspire and acquire.
For us, a fire to aspire and acquire. Thank you. Okay. Firestorm. There is a storm a brewing, firestorm is coming. The flame must be fanned, nowhere will it ever be banned. Firestorm is going across the land. I'm sorry. God's Spirit is forthcoming, this is grand. Please, let no one misunderstand. Firestorm, You are most welcome here. Show us there is nothing for us to fear. Assist people to adore the Holy One who blesses us to our core. Firestorm, God's will you fulfill. To all you wish only goodwill. Please, Firestorm, do not be still. The nations without God are ill. To them, please give a spiritual pill. Firestorm, make known God's truth. If only people had learned this in their youth, how different would the world we live in be? Oh, if they could hear God's great plea. God desires none to perish. All people God truly does cherish. Firestorm, you must never retire. Through you, the world will learn to inquire of the one who gave his life so none expire. May they learn of this one you so admire. Firestorm, of this call you shall never tire. And then the third one I'm not going to do until I have the song.
You know the call, fire, fire, burning bright in the forest of the night.
This
A
word.
refusal to mourn the death
Yeah,
Isn't that Blake? It's William Blake.
of London.
Right.
Dylan Thomas. Look it up.
But isn't there also Tiger, Tiger, Burning
That's
Bright?
right, yeah, that's the famous one.
That's it.
Yeah, that's Blake.
So the rhythm you're seeking, I think, is out there. Patricia.
I'd like to catch it.
Yeah, when we all.
We had a big firestorm in Afghanistan,
Mhm.
courtesy of the
Yeah.
American Air Force.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, incredibly.
I think that's quite a story we haven't heard.
No, they are dodging right. and
Well, it's
left.
as bad as hell.
Well, see, that's this thing that I'm talking about, the Dodge.
Yep.
It's in this morning's paper.
Okay, I have
Something
words.
like
I have words in search of form.
Oh, this says page 1, okay. So you have a page 2.
Words in search of form.
Let me read it and we'll look.
This is the page 1, mean that we should find page 2.
Well, it's the ongoing.
Oh, good.
What did that do?
Well, I don't know, maybe unless.
We're not gonna have page 1 again next week, are we?
I think we might.
I think
That's true, we might. There's no law
The
against it.
college who said all
Very
forms are
good.
about death.
Keep on refining
Death
until
of
you're
love, death of a tree, death of whatever. I think so.
So, how the hell did I end up here?
Image.
I talked before about that.
Plans and dreams travel together as many of us pursue the perfection of what we hope is living the good life. But someplace along this narrow part, I slipped off, and here I am, here in Ohio. Go back some years and follow me as I do my day. Up early, dress, combing hair taken down from bright pink curlers. And how long has it been since I've done that? Gathering up gloves, white, purse to match dress, waiting at the bus stop. Still early when I reach downtown and order up a cafe con leche from the bodega window, which I take to the wide marble staircase of the cathedral, where I'll sit and sip while I listen to someone practicing toccatas and fugues on the organ. I'm at work before most of the staff arrives. Just before lunch, one or more of the gentlemen who like to escort me about town brings in a hot Cuban sandwich, and we flirt a little, and I maybe make a date to see a movie, or to go to visit a grandmother, or take a ride. I'm mostly non-committal about it. Finished, we cheek kiss, and I get back to work. At 5, I'm out on Flagler, flagging down a cab. The driver says, "I've seen you on TV." I say, "Hope you liked the program." At the Purple Heart Club, he stops, and I offer cash. He refuses. "I didn't put the meter down," he says. "Thanks," I say. Inside, I see Johnny P. waiting for me at the bar. Most likely he'd been in that seat since before 3 or before. Many people think he and I will start a business. Not me. He can sell anything. Liver and onion dinners to I can make people want to buy. There's a difference. He's lazy, nice, cool, but lazy. It would be my work and his for me to do too. So anyway, he hands me a check for $1,000. 2 weeks ago, when he said his car dealer had received 4 yellow Oldsmobiles and there was no interest in anyone buying them, I said, "I'll help you sell them for $250 commission on each." A deal. I draw clothing ads for the Al Jr. stores. 2 days later, the ad showed a bright young thing thanking her daddy for buying her the bright new yellow Oldsmobile, which matched the Gucci shoes and handbags so very well. "Oh, thanks, Daddy." That did it. A lot of nice daddies out there. Got to go. The time I thought I'd have isn't there anymore, but I'll tell you more soon. Maybe sing you a sad song.
Is this that one night's dreaming or a month?
I don't know. I've dropped a few hooks. It's not very good.
You could put a space,
But
like a space after, Ohio, or something, because it's go back. There's this kind of introduction and then the reminiscence. So I don't know. I felt
Your
a
mind
space
feels
in my brain.
I just
Here
want
I
to
am
say
here in
it's a
Ohio.
compelling narrative.
Yes,
You know,
it
we
is.
really followed the action in an interested way. And I am wondering if you ever sold ads.
if I what?
Ever sold ads?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
But what about the TV? You were
And the
you
TV.
were on TV,
Yeah.
or you were?
This is me.
Huh?
This isn't me.
Oh, it isn't you.
No. This isn't me.
It's made up.
It's totally.
I thought you had a sordid past.
Is it
It's
somebody?
a story.
Just
Yes.
I love
I don't think
Yeah.
it's sordid.
Not
But
a lot
you
of
kind
detail.
of got into 2 nights, turning in the office and then being this guy in a bar. You took a
That's sordid?
She's bouncing you around, with different people, and leaving temptation. The temptation is being both offered and met.
Well, I'm sure her imagination can get even wilder.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see on page 2.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen on page 2?
You want to find out?
Right.
The modern Beowulf. That's what this is.
Yeah.
That sounds more like James Joyce,
Modern
Ulysses or
Doesn't
something.
sound like Beowulf to me.
I love the selling of onion liver.
Yes, that's it.
Already, basically.
Or anyway.
I'd like to know where that happened.
Yes, I like it on onions.
Oh, my God.
You're a minority. Onions, I love liver, can stay back in the cow as far as I'm concerned. If you appreciate the cow, would appreciate that too.
No, I think by the time it's on the plate, the cow is beyond caring.
Oh, yes, but it's the anthropomorphic thought of the matter.
But I used to really enjoy
Chris,
living on
why
it.
don't you pass your?
Intensely.
I don't have enough
But I was not a teenage girl then.
Are you now?
That's not what I said. I said I was not then. No reference at all now.
Well, but.
Actually, I was
wasn't
spaceman,
one that-
just in from Mars right now.
Well, my question is, should I do page 2?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. How long a book are you planning to write?
How long what?
A book are you planning to write?
Incoming, we're
Got
probably
page
doing
one,
one, maybe
next
10
one,
pounds.
page
Well,
two.
it's one page at a time.
Make a few
All right.
corners.
Good.
See where it ends up.
I
Yeah,
think we're good. We're
I
good.
have no idea where it's going.
yeah, I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's
Just for economy,
It's
stop at the end of the page.
It's titillating.
Up for page 2.
Well,
right?
yeah.
Don't go
yeah.
on to page 3.
I did have some breaks in the lines, but then it went into another page. So I squished it all together.
It
Right.
works.
Been there, done that.
It works.
I have to say, I like the bright pink curlers and the white gloves and the matching, and it's such a memory.
it's so 50-ish.
Is that yours?
No, I think that's-
That's what we're.
I used to try to sleep on those.
Chris, you're
it
gonna have
coming
to
this
read
way?
very slowly because we don't all have copies.
Maybe 2 more and then.
No, just
Okay,
read
okay,
slowly.
okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Trinity. Space Trek, South Trek, God Trek. The final frontier is not a space or even the universe, but our own ineffable need to know, dogmatize, and plumb exegesis.
Could you read a little slower?
Give us the okay.
please?
The final frontier is neither space or even the universe, but our own ineffable need to know, dogmatize, and plumb exegesis. Haldane has already proposed that the universe is clearer than we can comprehend. Maybe a snarky universe. Location, location, location. And Boojum's behind every blind of dark matter. If you know about anything about Boojums and playing with the snarkies, the Boojums make you disappear. And then you go poof. And again, you want to get a snark because they'll give you an inexhaustible wealth, whatever. And snarks, the Boojums look like snarks. And so they'll always surprise you. And you go poof off into the netherworld. So that's a digression. The universe creates itself as itself is being created. Time becomes. Space unfolds and stretches. This is our neurons unfold in a cerebral maze of tangential touches. If we attempt to comprehend the incomprehensible, we'll obtain it according to Zupere, we'll be responsible for it. We are an aegis to control, comprehend the whole, from subatomic to string. We'll attempt to epiphanize God too. We'll have parsed her whispered command to be as it echoes through the stars.
There's an interesting paradox, it seems to me, in the laws of physics. If inertia, if an object in motion tends to stay in motion, it means an object not in motion would tend to not.
In a closed.
Then how could the Big Bang happen?
Is it a closed universe? And you have something we don't know because the Big Bang came out of nothing, and as it banged, it became the bang, and
I think we don't have time to get into it.
no. I could explain it anyway.
Let's say it just got too crowded, so
Yeah.
something had to happen.
Oh no, that's the problem is that both
Barbara,
that's a,
do you have a point?
yeah.
Do I have a point?
No,
Yeah.
good. Yes.
Yeah.
If I start asking how we do this chit chat.
Yeah.
Mine is not a complicated poem. I thought about it and I wrote, bats in the belfry, free to fly and roam. No need to stop them, the president is home. He's moved to a new house along with his spouse, lavish and spacious, with no bat and no mouse. The trustees adore him, gave him more money so he could live well with his now wealthy honey.
Well, no bats in Ohio can bite you. They can't bite you. They're all the fruit insectivores, and not fruit, insectivores. They have real tiny teeth and real tiny mouth too.
Well,
No, I mean, this is my problem with the whole problem. began, is that old houses have bats. They had a
That's
bat.
right, that's right.
And old bats have houses. I
I
mean,
was not, not a conjecture.
Would you
But
like to read?
it's sort of irritating, but it's the whole thing. Bats don't bother you. You may not like them, but you just close up the holes.
Robin, why don't you send yours around while we chit chatting?
Well, I have one in my house, but I wish one.
Pass this out at the
I
Ameritide.
can feel the air from this place.
Do this, but, big wind blades, spread rays, surface textures, shining sun, twisted pinks, golden beads, ceramic luster, braided, spun, glazing whales in sapphire, seeming weightless flower trees, silo bullets, steel and wire, leaning straws, fragile and strong, broken bits of designs, piecing back to get it right, rabbit melts dripping down, catch him, Alice, if you can. Wrinkles now, so soft once, her eyes remember baby, women wrapped, fear within, is it safe to be without? Child soldier, weapons held, lost inside, trussed up in fear. Maps of lines, ancient hands, one old one nursing, breasted man. Earthen cloud looks below, cobalt cloud drinks in the sky. Primate white, ghost of snow, glassy eyes that stare blue ice. Frozen flowers glisten, feasting birds, soft blue rain. Baskets made like they bend, a touch would change your mind. Lone cow frets, silent, waits, terracotta clay, vast space. Wide-eyed hares in a skillet, fragile beehive, circle span. Posies in pots, orange folding, red dog dreams of thumbs and pigs. Skeleton snakes, red flare, voodoo spirits in a jar. Dad's big shoes, be a man, crying eyes defy his fists. Delicate petals, black clay, dots and dashes, wax resist. Low fire, high fire, serenity and torment.
Yeah.
It's pretty
You're
bizarre if you
giving
haven't
us
seen
a
it.
path to follow.
Is this ceramic glass blowing and stuff like that, or?
No, it's clay,
All clay?
yeah,
Yeah.
for the most part.
You could say Dairy Barn exhibit, maybe something like in the title, and then, you know, so each stanza is one particular piece, or is
No,
it just
it isn't.
impressions?
It's pretty much, yeah, just
Well, it
segments of it.
conjures up in my mind images of glass blowing for some reason, because of the complex designs and shapes, and the fact that what I interpret as being fragile.
And some of it is.
Yeah, and I somehow attach fragile with being crystal and gehuli and glass designers of that kind, you know.
Yeah, I think, and there is a lot of the ceramic luster too, which just looks like glass.
Where was this here in Athens?
Yeah, it still is.
It's still there.
Mhm.
Until
I think so,
when?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Quite, yeah, it just opened like
It
the
just-
thing,
it
the
just
20th
opened.
or something.
Just
or-
open. It just,
I haven't
September.
seen it,
You saw that.
No, the quilt, I saw the quilt.
the quilts.
The
quilt show was before.
Yeah.
So this is reaction to various pieces in the show, is that?
But
Yeah,
not,
remember she-
not one-on-one, not one-to-one, though.
It's not
Yeah.
one-to-one, no.
Mhm.
It's just sort of like,
An impression.
impressions. Yeah. So I just,
It's like the one you did about the quilt show.
it is,
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Those are amazing, the quilts.
That was fabulous. It was a lot easier for me than this because I just responded to the quilts so easily that I didn't, you know, but this one I went back another time because I wanted to put the materials and, you know, that everybody used a little bit in there and make sure I wasn't like off totally. I'm probably off to a certain amount because I don't know much about it.
But really,
Larry, do you want to pass your form while we're talking about hers? This, use your time more efficiently here.
11.
I went back to the, what about, our dearest president? Does anyone remember Alden? I mean, Alden
Yeah.
and Harvard on the Hawking?
Yeah.
Sure.
Actually,
Go take
I'll
it.
say it's coming electronically, so.
Okay. I might, I don't know, I was kind of looking at it and thinking, well, maybe I will or won't.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's-
okay.
I was challenged to share something about self. So this is a little piece of self, even though that's not the title.
Is this your,
Yes.
you need to have that. Okay.
Mary and I started square dancing about 4 years ago, and so this is a little bit of something I want to, I'm starting to organize it, but I haven't actually got it done. So I finished it about, at this point, about 10:10
We
today.
used to do this.
a.m. Reasons we square dance: to challenge, to grow, and to strengthen our brain, bigger brain, better brain connections, mindful mentoring, and to make meanings, mightier memories, our mood mild, and to coordinate our motor movements, and to create congenial cooperation, considerate caring, cheer, and joy, and to live with purpose, to acquire levity, to achieve longevity, to satisfy our needs for fun, food, fellowship, friendship, and to heal, to regain balance, to gain attentive hearing, to maintain a healthy heart, lungs, and body, and to sustain hope.
You've got
Yes,
some
yes.
good alliteration in there.
Really,
Uh-huh.
really nice, yeah.
CCC.
I was always a terrible square dancer. I'm left-handed, so I can never figure out which is left and which is right.
Me either.
But eventually, we get it nailed.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Now, when they say Alamad left and you go right, you're in trouble.
Their other right.
And colors will do, let's go, and you start, and then they'll change the direction on you. Normally it's right, and then they'll say, no, left. And they'll do it intentionally, just to, and we have to pay attention.
We used to, at this, where I went to school up until the 9th grade, we used to square dance often at lunchtime in the gymnasium, because the school was out in the middle of nowhere, and there wasn't, you know, you couldn't go downtown or anything. And so we did lots of square dancing. I haven't done it for years.
Well, if anybody's interested, actually, we have a new class that started a week ago, but it starts, each Monday, so I have a little flyer. It doesn't cost you anything. The startup's free.
that's
And the
nice.
flyer is free.
How about the medical bills we need to
Sure.
It'll help you.
Replacement.
It's not close, but there's 5 couples that go from Athens to,
Well, I'd
so
have to find someone
you can
to go with me.
carpool.
Well, the contra dancing is, actually, it's squares. I mean, it seems to be square dancing, even though it's starts with 2 lines, but, and they have live music. That's at the, that's,
Why don't you pass your phone
that's
while we're
why-
talking?
Well,
Good point.
You don't have a phone.
Oh.
Well, that's why you don't pass one.
You are passed.
Nan, do you have one?
I didn't do one.
She's filming it. Okay, I don't have enough.
Now I'm gonna have Alaman
Dan,
Left
you
and
didn't do a
Promenade
poem.
and things like that going around through my head.
Pardon?
Did you do a poem?
No, she said she didn't.
Oh,
Too big.
And you'll have to share.
Do you go all, wait,
Do you have
Larry?
enough for
You
everybody?
go to Pomeroy
No, I
for
don't.
this?
I don't think so.
The Pomeroy is where this club started,
Uh-huh.
but they progressed down the river, and now they've floated all the way to Cheshire. And they meet at the Gavin Power Plant Clubhouse.
She gave Dan a copy.
There's one that I
Yeah,
think
pass it
she
around,
wants.
because we,
That's somebody else's.
you have one.
while it's going around, I have the new Ohio Review, if anybody wants it. It's
What?
the new Ohio Review, it just came out. For some reason, it was in my mailbox. And there actually is one person from Ohio. Mostly not.
I had a subscription to it, but it vanished. I don't know. It just
Well,
stopped coming.
They all came to Schoonover, so I guess that's what happened. But if anybody wants it, there was a poetry contest, so I got the winning poem here.
Look at it.
Yeah. Does everybody have one that can be looked at?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're sharing if there's another one.
There is one here.
Okay.
Anybody need?
Yeah.
Yeah. This gets the prize for second most crumpled up pieces of paper and thrown away. So it was a little better than the last one. Errata. Some gaffes loom large, while others make me smile. To wit, from 7 yard sales I can claim their therapeutic value, but alas, I'm left without one paintbrush to my name. Sold them all. One's early choices cast their shadows long. 5 years of taking French. I wonder now if Spanish would have been the better choice for conversations that it would allow. For sure, I erred by answering the plea to give my van to help fund NPR. Far better would have been a future here through Good Works local uses for my car. The Shenandoah Valley was our dream, but when we chose a place we both forgot. Essential is a Blue Ridge mountain view. Instead, we look out on a parking lot. Dear reader, you can learn from this mistake. My Delta Dental contract makes me cry. Unlike a cell phone plan that has some worth, that 2-year deal is highway robbery. You cannot get out of the Delta Dental plan.
It's really makes us laugh.
My lifetime mistakes, and I hope everybody got a little amusement out of it.
It's great.
Yes.
And
But the one about the French and Spanish.
Totally.
I mean, if you live in the US, Spanish has become the second
Yeah.
language.
You can learn Spanish from looking at a owner's manual for
To
something
teach-
you buy.
To speak it is.
It's a lot of French,
Would take a
and
little-
it's so similar too, that if you speak French pretty well,
I know they're Romance languages, but the time to learn a language is early on,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's harder.
My husband is has been taking French since he retired at 70. And he'll be 76 and he's still going to a Spanish class at OU. But it's hard. I mean, he has to just keep going because he can lose it so quick.
That's the thing with language.
Languages
You
and
do lose it, 'cause,
post-retirement language learning.
Starting at home,
It's
it's really tough.
No, it's on 2 sides.
Oh, mine's 2 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my original.
One page, right?
And could you, thank you.
The forces that be. The way to write a poem is with a cat in your arms, his head in the crook of your elbow, almost like a sleeping, soft baby, but without the innocence. His little arm up your chest, his trust so complete it humbles you. But a cat is more like a poem than when in action. He suffers only a little love before he leaps off to his own couch, an effortless Baryshnikov settling then between two pillows, one needle point, because he likes the warmth of the wool. Well, Robert B. Rich explains to Tavis Smiley on TV how U.S. income inequality creates an aristocracy, a sort of oligarchy instead of democracy, our upward mobility disappearing while the very few get richer, while the rest do not. But my little cat wastes not a second of worry, knowing he, like us humanoids, has countervailing powers the kind unions used to, voicing his displeasure if dinner's not served in a certain timely fashion, as mighty in his dissent as David against Goliath, like small groups of folk can be and still are when organized to fight back. It's been done before and will be done again. Meow, 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 meow. We want food, warmth, and love. Time again to be fed.
Is the middle class like a cuddly cat?
Yeah.
It's a feral cat without a home, actually.
The middle class?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Morality never ends. I mean, you get a feral cat and then babies, you take the babies, it's still feral kittens.
Yeah, that's the thing about the middle class.
I know, but I'm saying, is that I never realized.
We have a recommendation for the group, and that is that we were considering contacting Wendy McVickers, who was obviously the inspiration for the original poetry class, and have her talk about how to critique poetry and what to say and how to say it that inspires as opposed to feels critical or just,
or nothing.
Nothing, yeah. And I think we probably all could use a little perspective on that. Because it's obviously not about just the grammar or the configuration.
Right.
There should be some addressing of the content first, before all, I think. But maybe Wendy will shed some light on how to do that kind of thing. So we can maybe proceed a little more sensitively with each other. How do you like that idea of contacting Wendy?
Yeah, I think she's incredibly helpful.
All right, we'll do it then.
Yeah. And can we figure out a way to, for everybody to just pay a certain amount for her work? Because she wouldn't have any way to do that. I mean,
I suppose.
she'd probably just do it.
Right, she probably would do it. I hadn't thought about money, but you're right.
Maybe
I
we
should.
should put $5 in, something a nice little gratuity for her.
Yeah.
We don't have to
Real
pay
nice.
her ourselves, if it's in the middle.
All right then.
A show of appreciation for her work.
Right, exactly.